Let me introduce to you our first speaker for today. Please welcome Isabelle Millon, Director of the Institute of Philosophical Practice in Paris, France. Her masterclass today is to talk as equals, how to teach a child to think critically. Isabelle.
Thank you for being here. Maybe I'm going to do something a little bit strange to you. First, I'm supposed to speak not all the time, but you get some translation. So let's see. So just let me start with just a little quote, because here it will be about thinking or philosophizing, as I feel more in philosophy, but anyway, just transform to critical thinking. So a child is able to philosophize from his first year much better than to learn how to write or to read. That's my present to you is from a French philosopher, Montaigne, from 500 years ago almost. So that means that already some philosophers, they have this idea of thinking as something very important in early age. That's for kind of introduction. Second, I won't go back on the presentation as you have it already, so I'm going to explain to you how we are going to proceed. First, just tell you something at least about myself, not what you heard already, but maybe some things more specific. Not my personal life, don't worry, it's not the place, but just about the work I've been doing for 25 years. So with more than 25 years now. So with a philosopher, we created an institute in France, and now we work in different places, in different fields, business, education, and really everywhere we can. Me, I specialized in education more than 15 years ago, working in schools, mostly in school, with from kindergarten to high school students, holding critical thinking workshops, working mostly on projects with kids. I will say 80% of my work is in the public system, in some very sensitive areas, in France, but as well in some other countries, because I work as well a lot in some Middle East country with the school and people involved in education. So not only teachers, but also with parents, as sometimes I see parents, they don't know how to deal with thinking with their own child. So I just would like to ask, who is a teacher here? Okay, kindergarten consider you as a teacher, as you did already with children at school. So who is teacher here? Okay. Who is a parent? Okay. Who is both a teacher and parent? Okay, good. So I guess most of you deals with children. So I'm going to give you some ideas. I wrote some notes. I'm going to start already with 2 examples of critical thinking with kids, 2 dialogues. And of course there will be some questions, but at least maybe we'll have a little workshop, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, to show you how it works. And at the end, I have my colleague who disappeared right now, but she's going to come back, because we have been working in Russia for many years, not me, but one colleague of mine that maybe some of you know already. She's working with him for a couple of years now, so I will give her 10 minutes at the end so she can talk about the work that he has been doing in Russia. Not many in education, but with adults. But I will let her to do that. She will do it much better than me. So let me give you this. And of course, I will take your questions. I want to make it interactive, but with some rules. So don't be scared if I ask you a stupid question. It's part of thinking. So first example, it's a real dialogue that I have with kids. A child says, I love my parents. Oh, I cannot read that. Why? Because it's my parents. Yes, but the fact that it's your parents doesn't say why you always love them. Oh, sorry, he said, I always love my parents. So the fact that it's your parents doesn't say why you always love them. So can you find another reason? He said, okay. I said, can you tell me? He said, because they put me into life. Oh, and do you like it to be in life? But it depends. But it depends of what? It depends because sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm not. Okay, so can you give me some examples when you are happy and some examples when you are not happy? When I do what I like, playing video games or go to the park with my friends, I'm happy. When I must do my homework or when I fight with my best friend, I'm not happy. So, do you think it's a good reason to love your parents because they put you into life? And the kid starts thinking. He said, no, because I'm not always happy. I said, okay, so do you have a better reason why you love always your parents? And he said, yeah, because they always comfort me when I'm sad. You see, already there was a process. He says something, you ask a reason. As the reason is just a repetition of what is in sentence, so I go a little bit further. He said it depends. It depends is not a reason, so you ask some example and you show him some problems already, so he tried to find a better reason. Okay? So you see it's already a process when we speak with a child. Another example. I always love my parents. But now, instead of, I just ask a question. I said, do you quarrel with your parents sometimes? Or, another question, do your parents sometimes punish you when you do something bad? He said, oh, yes. But when you quarrel with your parents, or when they punish you, do you consider you love them or you don't love them at this moment? I don't know. But does it make you more happy or more unhappy at this moment? Oh, usually I'm very hungry, especially when they punish me. So, at that moment when you are angry, do you think you love your parents? I never thought about that before, but I think I don't be thinking. Of course, it's true that most of the time he loves his parents, and you can say love always. But here, because of this adverb that he had, you question it and you show him some limitation in it. Simple discussion with 6, 7 years old child, but already to make him think about. And of course, I took these examples because usually parents say, I always love my children, and children, I always love my parents, and we don't go further. And for parents, it's good to know, it's very warm feeling, but as well for the parents. So just to give you two concrete examples. So, the relationship between a child and a parent is not always easy, especially when the child is growing up. A parent usually expects that the child does what he's asking to obey some rules, to reproduce his own values, especially if you think some values are important, like respect, be nice with people, work, different kind of value, his own behaviors as well. Here, he just neglects something important. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that family is an important value in Russia, like it is, by the way, in other countries. Maybe less in France, but for example, I know in Russia and some countries where I work, family is very strong. So, but the fact that the child has his own identity, and that he needs at a certain point to rebel. At one moment, he needs to rebel to his parents in order to grow up, in order to construct himself. It's a necessity, even if we don't like it. Of course, when they are small, it's more easy, because we can have a kind of, I will say, control on them. But more they grow up, more it's difficult. And when they become teenagers, I don't know if some of you work as well with teenagers at school or have teenagers of their own, but it becomes more difficult. And sometimes relation between mother and girls, or father with boys, so it's quite difficult. But at the same time, it's very important. So parents must accept the fact that the child doesn't belong to him. And I know it's crazy, because we think, because we put them into life, so it's part of ourselves, which is not false, but at the same time, it's not a piece of furniture. It's not our belongings, you know. Like I have my computer, I can say it belongs to me. But I have a child, no, it doesn't belong to me, even if I'm his mother, and I carry him for 9 months. But he's an independent human being who needs to make his own experience, to look for his own way. So, which doesn't mean that the parent, of course, must accept everything from the kids. And sometimes, I don't know in Russia, but I know in families and many countries, you have now, it's very typical, the child who is like the king, you know. It's the parents who obey the kids, you know. And it's almost the parents who beg for love from the kids. It's terrible. And you see that with rich, educated, non-educated, you see that everywhere. It's something very, especially when there is only one kid, you know. Like, I'm the king of the universe. Nobody says nothing to my kid, you know. But often the parent doesn't know how to discuss with the kid and to have a dialogue. So, yes?
Can you use the microphone, please? Because we cannot hear you when you don't use the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like this? Yes, thank you to remind me. So, often, yes, the parent doesn't know how to discuss with his kids. So he must learn as well to build his thinking, because it's not obvious. Even the best, I will say, the parent who do the best for the kids, or the teachers, as there are many good teachers, hopefully, you know, who really care for the kids, but they don't really know how to dialogue with the children. So they will be better equipped, I will say, for their relationship with the kids, for a real dialogue with him. Or it's not about just talking, did you do your homework? No, so why did you not do it? Oh, because I have no time. Okay, so now you do it and that's it. End of a conversation, I'm going to prepare dinner. No, it's not a real discussion with the kids. So, take the time to discuss with your child, or with a child as a teacher as well. It's the same, to have a real discussion. So instead of doing a moral lesson that we like to do, and get interest in what he wants to say, ask him questions when you don't understand something, ask him to clarify, to give example, to deepen his words, to give valid reasons, make him think about what he says. That is what we call thinking. Thinking is not, okay, I'm thinking about my homework that I have to do for tomorrow. No, of course it's thinking, but it's different thinking that we talk about it. Here it's about reflective thinking. Okay, all right. It's okay, all right, I'm just listen now. So even a little child can do it, you know. A little child is not only someone that you feed, or someone you say, you go and do that, or you're very cute. No, a little child can understand very well what's going on. But of course, there is the need of some specific attitude, some trust is necessary. So, It means, of course, that if you see any problem or disagree with him, you bring some, I will say, some kind of objection to him. Not in an arbitrary way, you know, or because you are his father or his mother. It's because you see some kind of issue in what he says. But of course, if you start to get mad, to scream, to punish, forget about it. It's finished, you know. Everything has to be calm. When you want to discuss with your child or with a child in the class, it has to be done in a very calm way. I see so many teachers, they spend the time screaming because they say, yeah, but the kids, they don't obey. At the end, I'm tired. I say, okay, but if you're tired, maybe you have to change your job or at least go outside for a few minutes, you know. But if you scream, the child cannot think anymore because there is emotion from one side and from the other one. Of course, you can say, maybe you know all that. And we like to say, oh yeah, we know all that. But if we know all that, how come what we see is not really what's going on? So, yeah. So, make him so responsible of his own words and own actions. Very important attitude, this idea of responsibility. So, when we talk about critical thinking, what does it mean to think critically? So, it doesn't mean imposing the ideas on others, but thinking, which means a time of seeing his own beliefs, his own certainty, his own opinions, to be able to criticize them, to analyze them, to see if it's true, if it's always true, or sometimes false, how sometimes there is some issue behind. So we elaborate, we construct, and to construct we have as well to deconstruct. So critical thinking is to be able to do both. It's like when a kid starts with some Lego to build something, usually when it's not finished, take it away and do it again. Thinking is like some Lego, you know. When you finish, you deconstruct and you do it again. That's what we call thinking critically. If not, it's just, okay, thinking, giving opinions, giving ideas. So, of course, it necessitates some, I will say, intellectual effort that everyone can do. That means we need to articulate them. We need to be rigorous. There is time for a simple discussion. I will call for, like you go to a cafe with a friend, you talk about everything and nothing. There is time for it. Or with your kid, if you go to the park, just let him play. There is or for lessons as a teacher, but there is as well time for real dialogue, discussions, where he can improve his creativity, use his imagination, but when there is a moment, you know. When I talk with parents, I see many parents say, oh yeah, he has a nice drawing, he show me, but I have no time, I'm cooking. I said, okay, but so if you have no time, say to your kids, look, now I have no time for you because I'm cooking, so let's take 15 minutes later and let's look at your drawing. Instead of saying, wow, it's very beautiful, my dear. And of course, you don't look, even look, you know, it's totally irrespectful for the kids, you know, because we think the kid, he doesn't remark anything. It's not true. You see that the mother prefers to do the cooking instead of watching what he draws, you know. Of course, it seems silly, you know, but it's something we see. Oh, mother, I'm busy now. I'm busy. Okay, I see you later. Okay, and after, did you do your homework? Did you take your shower? Did you brush your teeth? And wow, you know, it's too much for the kids, you know. Already, it's a big pressure at school, and at home, it's the same, you know. No, so it's not because you will spend all your day with your kids. If you do nothing, okay, forget it. Do something and take just half an hour to do something with him. Like in school, there are times for teaching, just for learning, and there are times when you can discuss. And as well for teachers, as there are many teachers, I do also a lot of observations in classes. So I go, I stay behind, and for 1 hour, for example, I look at a mathematics class. I take some notes, and at the end, I discuss with the teacher how he can use some critical thinking skills in the class. It's very helpful because, of course, it's more like workshops that I do with the people, seminars, trainings, but a teacher doesn't have the time because of the curriculum. I don't know in Russia, but in France, curriculum is very big, and more they add something, you know. They don't care if the children, they are 30 in the class or 25, if they have difficulties, they don't care, you know. It's curriculum for everyone, with homework, with plenty of things to do. It's crazy for the kids, you know. But, of course, we don't talk about it. It's a taboo. Try to protest a little bit, you get trouble, you know. So, for the teachers as well to be able to enter critical thinking skills in the class. And by the way, it works, you know. I see that because in the schools I work, I like to work on projects, by the way. That means that some schools have been going there for 6, 7, even 8 years, in very sensitive area. With the kids, they have a lot of problems, psychological, cognitive, social issues, where they deal with violence, with different issues. And I see the kids, and I see they are 6 years old, 7, and we see for the 5 years of primary school how it goes with thinking. Because these kids, you treat them as human beings, not only as little kids, but as well with kids with thinking, who are able to think about what they are doing, about what they are saying. It's like with learning, so you can really do something with them. And in the class, there is a couple of teachers now who do it as well. When he teach a lesson, he check with the kids. One kid comes, and he said, okay, look, now we did that, and he has the kids who agrees with me, who disagrees with me, he check, and it's how knowledge is being done, you know. And of course, it seems it's very slow at the beginning, and some teachers, it makes them nervous, because we have also, in a national French system, we have inspector who comes, and of course they know nothing about school, they just live in office, in their desk, but they come and they check, and they evaluate you, you know. I don't know here, but in France sometimes I say it's really, I understand why I don't spend my time in only one school teaching, but I prefer to go in different places. Okay, anyway, I close the parenthesis, but it's how we can adapt, and we can bring some critical thinking skills in the classroom. Whatever it is, mathematics, geography, language, whatever, not all the time, which I understand because it's as well very tiring, but you do it regularly and you see, believe me or not, really change in the class. Because first, the children, they learn to listen carefully to each other. They are responsible. It's not, yeah, but teacher, I didn't understand. You didn't explain to me. No, it's not that, because of course, there is a time to take with all the kids to make sure everyone understands what's going on, which takes time, you know. Of course, maybe some of you the kids are lucky, they have parents to spend 1 or 2 hours with them at home for homework. But do you know, as you know, it's not always the case with parents, either because they have no time of the work, because they don't know. You know, for example, when my kids were in secondary school, in mathematics, I said, I cannot help you. It was 30 years ago. I said, and I was so bad, I cannot help you, you know, but you have to be able to recognize it, you know. So how do? You have money, you can pay extra courses for your kids, but it's not the case for, I will say, the majority of people. So you see already how you can deal with that. I hope it's clear. It's okay? Because as I speak all the time, so... Okay, anyway, we'll take question afterwards, So, maybe to resume a little bit, unless you are tired, you want, or you have already some questions? Okay, already, so let's have. So, I'm going to show you something as well.
Can I ask a question?
Of course, you're going to be able to ask questions, yeah. No, it's okay. I can take it now. But I want to show you a little procedure, how I do it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah, probably.
already.
Yeah,
Because what I say, I want you to experience it. You ready? You okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, my name is Isabelle. What's your name?
My name is Kate.
Okay, can you speak Russian?
Da.
No, I guess it's,
Yes.
it's better or not? Let me ask. Let me ask. It's okay?
It doesn't matter really.
It doesn't matter? Okay, fine, great. So we can speak English,
All right.
so I don't need to put this stuff.
All right.
And they get the translation.
That's right.
You have a question?
My question?
Yeah. So first, what is your name?
My name is Kate.
Kate. Okay, fine. So nice to meet you, Kate. You have a question? Yes?
Yes, I have a question. Yeah.
Okay, but I don't want a big speech now. I just want the question. Can
Right.
you do it?
Sure. What should I do as a parent if I'm busy and the child requires my attention? How should I put it gently?
Look, you see already, it's 2 questions.
All right.
You said you have 1 question.
All right.
How
I'm a very slow mind. 1 question. If you want an answer. Do it again, please.
How do I deal with the child's impatience when he or she requires my attention?
Okay. Do you think it's a good question? Yes or no?
More
yes, more yes or more no? I'm showing you something. Don't worry. You know?
No, I think it's an okay question.
No, it's not okay question. I don't know what it means. You know, is it you think a good question or not a good question?
It is a good question.
Okay, fine. Do you have already an answer to your question?
Somewhat.
Somewhat strange. You know. Do you want? Yeah, somewhat. It's more yes or more no. You see, I'm asking you to engage yourself. I do with you like I do with kids. Okay?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay. So you have already an answer.
Yes.
Okay. What is your answer?
I should probably explain in words that are understandable for the kid that I'm busy and cannot take the time right now to deal with the child.
Okay, you think it's a relevant answer to your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so...
Sometimes that doesn't work.
Yes, of course, but are you impatient now? Little bit?
Little bit, yeah.
Okay, more than a little bit?
Maybe yes.
Yes, okay, you see already. So, it's okay. We have your question and answer. But you see, even if it doesn't work, it's a possible answer, and sometimes it works. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I will ask some other hypothesis to your colleagues here. But look, if already you have an answer to your question, why do you ask me this question?
Because I'm not sure that what I do is efficient enough in terms of developing certain skills for the kid.
Exactly, you are not sure. But you see, when you say I'm not sure, what does it show?
My certain lack of knowledge, maybe?
Yeah? What else?
Well, uncertainty.
Uncertainty. Okay, so you show uncertainty. It's okay? It's all right? So can you put it aside? You know, with children at school, I use garbage. I put a garbage in the middle of the class, and I said, some words, we put them here and we forget about them. If you want to take it back home, you take it back. You take your uncertainty with you, your desire of perfection, your fears, whatever. If you want to leave it in the garbage. The lady, when she clean, she take it away. It's your choice, okay? So
Sounds
put
good.
it aside. Yeah. So already, sometimes it works, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do with your question, I can, of course, answer you. It will be faster. But, you know, it's better if we ask people here. You trust people?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you're going to repeat your question. You speak Russian as well?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, good. So in English for me and in Russian for everyone. And you're going to ask a question. And please, if you can propose another answer to Kate here. Okay?
So should I just repeat the question?
You just repeat your question in English for me and in Russian for your colleagues.
How should I deal with the child's impatience in times when I'm too busy to respond properly?
Okay. So in Russian, but it's already okay.
It's already translated.
Who would like to answer to Kate here? Okay, but you see now what's going on? I'm asking you to engage. You know, Kate has a problem she would like to raise. I really thank you for this, because you were the only one asking question now. And it's what I do with the kids. Instead of me as a parent or teacher answering, I ask the kids. Here now you have a responsibility towards your friend. You propose something. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, nothing will happen to it, you know. The ceiling won't fall on you. Nothing will happen, you know. So put it away, your uncertitudes, your doubt, and just engage and see what's happening. And if you have really no idea, use your imagination. Try to make some hypothesis relevant to a question. Because, by the way, I'm sure Kate is not the only one to have this question. It's a question, as at least parents, we all ask ourselves. Huh? Okay? So, who would like to give an answer to Kate here? Try to propose her something. You just raise your hand if you want to speak. Okay, at least one. Okay, good. So we have at least two. So please.
Well, my proposal is that if, for example, I'm cooking, I propose to the child to help me with what I'm busy with. For example, to peel the potatoes or to bring the pan. She helps me and she gets a bit of my attention.
Can you try to reformulate your own answer in one sentence?
Совместно делать моим дела.
I propose to my child to do something together with me.
Okay. Kate,
I can respond in English.
did you understand the
I
answer?
did. Yeah, she supposed I should engage the child into what I'm doing.
Okay. Do you think, it's something relevant that it's possible answer to your question?
It is in certain situations.
In certain. So you take it.
Yeah, I do.
So, okay. So she helped you, right?
She did. She did.
What can you say to someone who helps you?
Thank you very much.
Okay. But you see, with a kid, it's very important. Of course, maybe some of you maybe laugh a little bit, but you know, it's a way of recognition. You recognize the other. Is your friend or not? Here, we don't care. It's about thinking, be able to give some ideas. Okay, fine. So, thank you. Natalia. First, yes. Yeah, because she raised her hands. Yeah.
Катерина, а может быть вам попробовать?
Kate, maybe you should try work less, actually work-life balance, no work after 6, spend more time with your child, and so on.
Do you think it's a third hypothesis that, yeah, you can accept it?
Yes, to a certain extent, because yeah.
You see,
Yes.
already, in certain situation, it doesn't work always.
Always.
To a certain extent. Do you see something in your functioning here? There is something. And if you just see it, it can help you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is it? Did you remark something?
That I cannot accept something as it is, right? That I always doubt something, right?
Yes. You agree with me? Huh?
Yeah, I do.
Are you looking for some kind of perfection?
In a way, yes.
In a way, yes, thank you. You know, I like this in a way. It seems very polite. But okay, if you take in a way...
I see what you're saying, yes.
But you see, but it's also a problem in your relation with your kid, because that means that you won't never be satisfied. Of course, you're very nice person, you say, oh yes, to a certain extent, yes, in some situation, but that means that you are looking for the perfect answer to your questions. That's
right.
Forget about it. It doesn't exist, you know. Experience something. If it doesn't work, try something else. And if it doesn't work, we have impatient people now. We take time, you know. Why? You make me nervous, sir, you know. No, please. I'm speaking now, just wait.
Right. I see.
You know, it's important what we are doing, you know. Kate, now we have a responsibility to Kate, and she doesn't send me away. She answers the question. She's willing to think. So we need time, you know. Thinking takes time. If you are in a hurry, don't do thinking. Just do things like this. It's just do business. But business, it's not thinking, even if we do thinking in business. But that's another issue. Okay? Yeah.
Good.
So, good? It's okay? So you see, and maybe ask your kids as well. Ask your question to your kid. Ask him what you can do. And you see, here already you enter into a dialogue with him. That means that, mom, as a mom, you have a problem and you don't have all the solutions, but you ask him his advice. It's showing trust as well. He's 5, he's 12, it's the same. Yeah? You accept it?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Yes.
You happy now?
I am.
Okay, great. So, okay, no, please. Just tell me, because I see you like this for a moment, so I'm getting totally nervous, you know. What's your name, sir?
Добрый день, Виктор.
Hello, my name is Victor.
Are you in a hurry now?
Да, я...
Yes, I'm in a hurry. I'm in a hurry of...
Russian, I need to put myself in my hair. Okay. Are you in a hurry? Are you in a hurry now?
Да.
Yes, yes, Isabel, I'm in a hurry of asking a question to you. Isabel, I need a microphone, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. Oh. Okay.
С репликой.
Yeah. Okay. So, but why are you in a hurry?
I'm in a hurry because we are running of time and I would like to clarify a question for me. And I need to make a comment as well. So, can I propose the following? I am your adopted child.
You know, were you interested in the discussion with Kate right now? Oh, you can. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yes.
look, Victor, right?
Да.
Da, okay. If I just listen carefully to what you said, does it seem that you were interested in the discussions that I had with Kate and with other colleagues as well, or not?
Yes.
If if I ask the group who is watching you here, will they say that, yes, you were very interested in the discussion, or you were not because you were concerned with what you have in your mind?
Обдумал свой вопрос.
I think the latter.
You see, you thought about your question. But you see, do you see a problem? Because you are with your question, with your ID, that means that what was doing here, it doesn't matter, you know. Do you see it or not? Yes or no? Да, нет.
Очень имело значение.
It's not an
No.
I just want да, нет. Now, that's it.
Повторите еще раз. На что?
Could you repeat what da means, what no means?
It's difficult for you. So you are showing that you are more with yourself than with the others. You agree with me? It's okay, don't worry, it's fine.
Согласен. Да.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, but you see a little problem. I love
Da.
problem, you know. I just came here for that. You know? Yeah. Okay. What is the problem?
Проблема.
The problem is the following.
Допустим, что вы меня
For example, imagine that you have adopted me and I'm your child.
No, you're not my child. You know, I have 3 at home. Believe me, it's enough. You know. With a husband as well, it's really enough. You know? So, no, you're not my child. You know.
Ну, старший ребенок.
All right, I'm a very old child.
Okay. And I
Не, нет, я же не мать Тереза всеобщая. If I were your child, I would ask you.
do that, I don't talk with you. You know.
Да.
I'm not your mother. You know. Okay. So I just.
А я не ваш ребенок.
I am not your child. This is exactly what I wanted to say.
I agree with you. No, please.
Вы со мной как директор разговариваете?
So you are talking to me as a school principal to a teacher, or like a mother.
Please.
Как взрослый.
You want to take my place?
Нет.
No.
Я даже не хочу быть вашим ребенком.
Can you sit? You know, no, it doesn't.
Все,
work
спасибо.
like
Извините, господа. Если...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's not about that, you know. Here it's just about consciousness, Victor. I want you to be aware of what's going on, you know. That's it, you know. Yes?
Yes, да.
Yeah?
Да.
Okay?
Okay.
Fine. Okay?
Да.
You see, it's just that. And with kids, it's the same, you know. But even when you speak with anyone, it's about consciousness. If there is no consciousness, it's not possible to have a dialogue with someone.
Да, согласен.
Okay? Yeah? Okay. But okay, fine. So, as now you seem a little bit more reasonable. Yes. So, do you have a question?
Я внимательно слушал за вашим
Yes.
диалогом.
I was carefully listening to your dialogue,
Я разговариваю с
and you said that this is how I talk to children, right?
И представим ситуацию, что я ребенок
You
ваш.
say you have a question. Now it's not a question. It's a long speech. What is your question, Victor?
Со стороны вашего визави, вашего ребенка,
From the point of view of your child,
я вас спрашиваю.
I was asking you,
Ты разговариваешь со мной как
Mommy,
директор
are you
Института
talking to
философской
me
практики
as the director of Philosophic Practice Institute, or are you talking to me like a mother?
I don't understand your question. Not because of the translation, but I don't get your question. And my...
Yes. Я ваш ребенок.
Okay, imagine that I'm your child.
My child. I'm not talking to people as they are children here. So please.
Нет, вы моя мама.
No, please, stop. No, stop doing that, you know. No. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Applauding. I would like to understand what's happening. Okay, yes, please.
Can you try to explain what's happening now?
I did this whole thing on video because I think this was one of the most fascinating displays of turning the energy in the class and taking the conversation from what it is about to how the conversation is being, what is actually happening, and actually questioning the understanding of the context, of the place of the person who is asking the question, and making someone aware, or trying to make someone aware of the motivation with which one is posing question and making someone think. I think this is just amazing, and I applaud Victor because he gave such a wonderful case for everyone to witness how to clarify significance of where is one coming from and understanding why is one asking questions and not just trying to address the question itself right away.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I was applauding because I think that was brilliant.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, but for Victor, you know, because I think there was something, and of course when he said, I'm speaking as a director of whatever, or as a mother, for me it makes no sense, you know, because I'm just trying to explain what is it. I give some example, and as Kate was willing to accept, I said, to play it, you know, so I just did it, because I want, you know, to tell you the truth, I'm familiar with the practice. I'm really doing the practice. I'm totally in the action.
Can I try to reformulate Victor's question
Yes, please,
as I
yeah.
understood it?
Yes,
I
please.
think for me Victor's question was about if the way you're presenting this conversation with the child to him seemed like a artificial construct, and the child would respond to it emotionally saying, Mom, don't do it to me. I want you to respond in an emotional level. Don't try to reason with me as a professional philosopher. I think that was the essence of the question.
Okay.
Whether or not such deconstruction is acceptable in a relationship between mother and child.
Yes.
That was, I think, to me, the essence of the question.
Okay, it's very nice. Thank you. So let me just. There is time for, I will say, when there is emotion, how to deal with emotion. Of course, as a parent, there is love, and there is moment for it. Moment for emotions, but usually when there are emotions, especially strong emotions, there is no thinking anymore. It's not possible, you know. For example, when a mother is angry against his son, she can say, oh, I don't love you, you make me crazy. She doesn't think about it. It's just an emotional moment. Or when the kids, you know, I remember one kid said once to his mother, I said, go under, okay, maybe I won't repeat it in English, but it was really so bad. And of course, the boy didn't think about it, but he was so angry against his mother. He was 12 or 13 years old. He wanted to hurt her, you know. So he said awful things. And the mother, when she saw her, she said, what can I do, you know? He insulted me, and I said, take it easy, you know, just first emotion, when there will be reason from part of both sides, discuss with him. So you have to, like a teacher, you know, sometimes a teacher is so full of emotions, with the kids, you just want to punish all of them and just to have the peace, you know. So emotions, we deal with that, and I wanted to talk about it, so I'm glad I can make the connection with it. Because we see that, and especially, for example, with violence. It's I don't know if it's a strong issue here, but it's a strong issue now everywhere. As you see, violence in school, at home, but also on TVs, the news, but just on cartoons or video games. And usually when there is violence, it's because there are some emotions that are not treated in a very good way, you know. So we work on what they call now emotional intelligence, but by the way, some philosophers like Spinoza, Dutch philosopher, 17th century, he takes all the emotions, he dissects them, you know, like some animals in science, and explain all of them, definition, explanation, reasons, and now we call it emotional intelligence. But already some philosophers, they did some work about it. Say it's important to be able to recognize when you have emotion, when you are sad, angry, when you are surprised, when you are happy, and to know what's behind. So when there is some emotions coming, as parents and child, or in classroom, or with a friends. So just, you can of course say, look now, which emotion do you have now? Okay, for example, I am full of hate. Okay, why do you have this hate? Can you give me some reason? Do you think you're gonna solve your problem with hate? And you question, and so until it came down. If it's not possible at that moment, so you say, look, you say to a kid, look, now I'm with my emotion, I cannot talk with you, because if I talk with you, it's not going to be good for both of us. So let's talk later. So, but of course it's important, and emotion, it's a very strong issue. So thank you, Victor, and thank you for clarifying the discussion. But you see, here it's how we deal with things. It's thinking, we deal with what's happening, but we cannot control everything. And even, by the way, maybe, you know, I'm as well a human being. I work with kids. I have my own family as well. And of course, sometimes emotions comes, you know, even if reason is strong, because I learned to work on it, but it's strong. But as well, I learned to say, look, now it's too much, you know, and too much, so let's do it later. So, you think it's answer this issue?
I think it answers one half of it.
Yeah? Oh, half of it. But even if it's half of it, it's, yeah, at least, okay, but oh, I mean, everyone with it. As a parent, how you deal with it? Okay, or usually...
if you don't mind, I'll repeat the question because nobody got the translation.
I don't mind at all, yes.
The reason I came here is because there's a big conflict between my wife and my daughter,
Yeah.
who is 10 years old. And my wife gets constantly angry with her, very angry. And I'm trying to find a way how to help my wife to learn to control her emotions, because when she gets angry, the daughter, I mean, they cannot have a dialogue.
Of course, yeah.
And so the question is, how do you, and I feel it in myself.
Yeah.
I get very emotional, and then I'm trying to understand how to build a dialogue with myself. How do I reason with myself that I know how to control it, and that I actually am able to build a relationship that is more reasonable and less emotional?
Okay, all right. So I guess you are not the only one with this kind of problem. Huh? So first, just calm down, because when there is emotion, just to calm down. You know, it's not possible, you know. So when your wife has all this emotion and gets angry, try to make her think about it, you know, because this anger if she's often angry because of some issues with her daughter, that means that as well there is anger in herself. So you have to deal first with that, you know. I will say what happens with your daughter, it's almost secondary, you know. That means that there is already a personal issue to deal with. You agree with me? Yeah. So you have to make her think about with her, you know. And when we do, my colleague will explain, when we work in individual, we work a lot on emotions, how to deal with oneself, how to be able to see the emotion, to recognize them and to accept them, you know. So usually you say, okay, now you're angry. Okay, do you think it's good to be angry or not? Okay, but so, of course, yes, because, okay. But now can you imagine why it's not good to be angry? So you oblige her, to think the unthinkable, what she's not able to think at the moment. Like when she said, no, I know it's bad to be angry, but I get angry. I said, yeah, but do you think there are good moments where angry is good? What we call transvaluation. It comes from a German philosopher, so it's how to make transvaluation. And always try to see the other side of the emotion. Like to be happy. Some people say, I'm always happy. But so you have as well to ask, yeah, but do you think there are some moments, for example, if you see people starving, you know, or in war, do you think you can be happy? So you think already it's how to shift, to be able to shift paradigm and to think what you are not able to think at the moment. So you have to make her think, to give reasons, to see the cause, the consequences, and see what's happening, for example, with your daughter and with you as well. Because, of course, and tell me if I'm wrong, but when someone, if your wife is angry with your daughter, usually it's going back as well to the relation to the family. You agree with me? Yeah. So for her, it's how to be aware of what's happening and the effect that he has on her daughter, on you, and as well on herself. Because after what happened, you have resentment, it's full of bad stuff, you know. And you know, when you have this, usually it's something that means as well that you don't like yourself, you have a bad relations to yourself. So you have to make her, I will say, reconcile with that, you know, but to make her see the problems. So maybe to get some help from a philosopher, but as well from a psychologist, you know. But I mean to get some help, or maybe she can start meditation, maybe as an activity where she's just with herself, you know, something, you know, but it's something to discuss, and as well with your daughter. Mommy is always angry. So to have a dialogue without, I will say, this emotion coming. With a kid, I do a lot of drawing as well. It's very nice, how to draw the emotions, to pen them, or to make something. Or sometimes you take something and imagine you're hungry at your mother. If it was an object, what will you do? Terrible question, you know. But take an object and, for example, I put it in the floor, I break it. You see? So all this violence has to come out, but has to be explained as well. So, because if it stays inside, it will just grow up. So, and just try to have this dialogue without making a moral to your wife or to say it's not good or what, but more to make them think about it. Yeah, yeah. But first, you think it's answer your questions?
50%.
Yeah, of course, but you see 30% as well, it's showing unsatisfaction, you know. You know, I'm not a specialist in I'm just telling you, giving you some advice, but maybe some people as well can give you some advice. What do you think?
That would be brilliant.
Okay, great. So let's be brilliant, right? So, what's your name?
Pavel.
Pavlov.
My name is Pavel.
Pavlov. Pavel. Oh, Pavel.
Pavel.
Pavel. Okay, fine. So Pavel has a problem that he raised, so maybe someone can find an hypothesis and try to, maybe that can help him. Even if you don't find, even if for you at home everything is perfect with your husband or wife and your family, you know, try to imagine how you can help Pavel with this. Oh, okay, but let's see first if someone who didn't speak can have an idea. Because you see, I'm really surprised, you know. I talk about this responsibility, and it's very nice because there is a great Russian author that I really like, Dostoevsky. He said, everyone is responsible, and me more than the others. It's a great book, I recommend it. It's Karamazov Brothers. It's a huge book, but it's very nice. Full of ideas, thinking, you know, the relation with the father, with the son. It's very nice. But this guy is what he said. As a human being, I'm responsible, me, and more than the others. That means here that Pavel just raised his problem. I'm sure it's very difficult for him, you know. But, or like what happens with our previous friend before. But if you have any idea how you can deal with it as a parent, as a teacher. So besides our friend here, who else? Okay, thank you. Yes.
Насколько я понимаю,
As far as I understand, when someone feels aggression or anger, it's the indication of weakness and inability to deal with the problem rationally. So, the first advice maybe is to you, for you to change your attitude, then to help the daughter change her attitude, maybe show her the possible ways to behave differently, and that might work on your wife too, and your wife will see that there are other opportunities to respond and to act. Actually, this is what I would do in my family, because my child is also 9 years old, and
Please, don't raise hands for now. Okay, so I'm going to ask who speaks right now. Okay, good. Can you try to rephrase in one sentence what you have said now? Go directly to the main point, to the essence of your speech.
изменить отношение к ситуации.
You need to change your attitude to this situation.
Okay. Do you think it's it's some idea to think about?
I'm sure it's a valid point.
Yeah,
Yes.
so can you tell her? Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's what I did. I said, thank you, good idea.
Okay, fine. So, thank you. You have another idea? Yes, please.
Как родитель, наблюдающий,
As a parent, as an onlooker, I would first talk to the child. What does the child think? Why she is so angry? Why she responds in this way emotionally? I would try to identify what the problem is. Then, if I were a husband, I would talk to the wife, and I would try to find out her reasons. And then I would talk to the wife, and we would rationally come to a solution.
Why will you start talking to the child first instead of dealing directly with the wife? And try to answer my question in a short way.
у всех,
Просто у меня в данный момент была точно такая же ситуация.
Well, I also
Поругалась с
I
ребенком.
had this situation, right? A mother quarreled with child.
Конфликт.
Now, it's not about you. It's about
Это аналогичная ситуация.
Yeah, but you see, what I'm doing, because, of course, usually people go back to themselves. So try to answer my question, why will you go directly to the kids and not directly to the wife? And forget about you. Now it's Pavel's.
Я хочу
Узнать, о чем
I want to know what the child thinks.
Почему такая ситуация произошла?
Why this happens to the child.
Yeah, but the problem is the wife who gets angry all the time. You see, it's not the child, because what you say, that means that it's because of the child. Okay? But here, usually, yeah.
Просто у них происходит.
So what happens is, I think, the misunderstanding.
If I misunderstand you, that means that I got a very bad translation, but that means that you have a guy over there, you have to complain. And I like about that, and my English is not so bad. Usually I understand most of it, so I guess I got the right translation. I trust Kirill over there, okay? So, you said...
Вы ушко одень.
No.
But you're not wearing the earpiece. So, it doesn't make what I could rephrase. I could talk to the child first, or to the wife, or vice versa. It's all the same. The point is that you talk to both.
If you say it's all the same, when the problem is a wife, the kids is second.
Я не говорю, что проблема в жене.
I'm not saying the problem is with the wife. If you want to understand why it's happening, why the situation happened at all, why there is the conflict, so you talk to the wife, you understand what she thinks, you talk to the child, what the child thinks about the situation.
Let's go back again. I want to understand you, It's okay? Oh, okay, I put that here. Yeah. So, you said, first, you talk to the child. Did I understand you correctly? Yes or no?
Изначально, да.
Please, try to answer my stupid question now. Because we cannot discuss, Okay, all right. So.
There is this quote that the problem is never with the child, the problem is always with the adult, which is on the board.
When there is something, as I don't want to spend just a discussion between you and me, I'm just going to check. Did you understand what the lady said?
Yes, I did.
You think it answers your issue, your problem, or not?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that's it. You see, so... He decide, okay?
А вы пробовали говорить?
Lady.
Молодой человек.
No, lady.
А вы пробовали говорить с ребенком?
Lady, please. Lady, please, he said, no, it doesn't answer my problem, so it's fine. It's okay, Why you want to fight now? It's okay.
Ну а как она будет решена, если...
How can they resolve their problem if they're not trying to talk to... I don't understand.
What? It's okay. Okay, let's have a last try. It's terrible, Human being condition, It's all right. Yes, please.
Мне кажется, что здесь главное, что...
I think, just correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what's the most important here is that you're not comfortable because they always want to become emotional. They let themselves be emotional. So maybe they should write to one another rather than talk to one another. Because before coming to the child, you could ask your wife, could you write a letter to our child? Because it is written speech is not emotional. Maybe this is just a small tool, but maybe a tool.
What do you think?
Well, actually, that's what we already did. They now live in different countries. My daughter lives in Moscow and my wife lives in Baku. So they already spend most of their time corresponding.
Okay, so let's maybe, okay, but
Maybe let's talk later.
yes, okay, 5 minutes. So we say, so maybe a last question? Yes, someone who didn't speak yet.
Вот, пожалуйста, у меня микрофон.
I have the microphone and I have not spoken yet. In the context of what we heard, so the question is the art of asking the right questions. Right. Yeah.
First, I said about questions. Now we forget about Pavel's now. Now we forget about him. Just said a last question, different one. So there was a lady over there. Yes, please.
Вопрос такой.
So the question is, can you really share your adult emotions with children? There should be a balance of how much emotion you share with your child, right? So should we be thinking about the age of someone we're sharing our emotions with? Or can we, share everything?
There's different ideas. Can you just try to make it one idea? Because first there was a question with a presupposition, strong presupposition, and you ask for confirmation. Okay? So just go, what is your question? It's funny,
Насколько...
I'm glad you find it funny. I know why I came at least.
Насколько...
How much of your adult emotions can you share with your children?
It's a very nice question, by the way. To what extent? Thank you. So, okay, so just someone would like to answer, because I think it's, of course, it's a very difficult question. I don't have the perfect answer to your question. I don't have even a question, because I just will say it can depend of how you deal already with that, how is the situation, how is your relation, as well with yourself, with your kids. So maybe some people can propose something to our friends here, people who didn't speak yet. Yeah, okay, yes, please, the lady who didn't speak yet. Okay, you and after her, yes.
Да. Я хотела бы сказать, что...
I would just say that there is no such thing as a child emotion or an adult emotion. If you are disappointed or sad, it's the same for adult and child. You may not explain the entire adult problem, may be a complex problem, but you can say to the child that I'm feeling bad, and that's it.
Do you think it answers a question? Or do you think it answers a question?
Я не знаю.
Я...
I don't know. Did I answer a question?
You say I don't know. It's very nice.
What?
Question, and you were supposed to answer a question. So, do you think she answered your question?
Partly.
Yeah, but you see, when you say partly, it means she deal with your question or she didn't deal with your question?
Наверное, скорее нет.
No, more no than yes.
Okay, more. Okay, so you see, when you ask, and I know it's difficult, when you ask question, make sure you get an answer to the question, not what you expect, but a connection between the question and the answer. So let's try. There was a lady. You want to try to answer a question? You remember what is a question? What was the question?
Вопрос заключается, ну, насколько я помню.
As far as I understand, the question was to what extent adult emotions can be shared and should be shared with a child. So my opinion is...
Let's wait. First, was it your question? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, fine. Now answer. You know, here we are just patient, but do it with the kids as well, to make sure, what was my question? So to make sure, again, it goes with the dialogue. Okay? Can you answer now?
Спасибо.
Thank you. I think I agree that emotions are the same for adults and children. That's one
By
thing.
saying I agree, do you think it answers the question to what extent blah blah blah?
Нет, а теперь...
No. No.
You see dialogue, you see with the kids it happens all the time. It's the reason people get mad. Already, you see, just showing you it what happens, you know. Question, answer, question, answer. It's okay. So, can you answer the question? That you repeat well, by the way. To what extent blah blah blah?
100%.
Can you be a little bit more generous with your answer? Can you explain a little bit?
Самую малость.
Well, just a little bit. I think that adults must be responsible for what they do with children, and this is why, again, this is my opinion, they should share only the emotions they recognize and the emotions they understand.
You ready? Do you think now she answered your question? Even if it's not what you're expecting, do you think it's possible answer or no?
Имеет.
Yes, it does. It's possible.
It's possible, but it's not. You were expecting. You were expecting something else, right?
Немного.
A little bit, but it still gives me pause.
A little bit. It's what happens all the time with kids. I'm asking to engage. When you have a dialogue with a kid, as a teacher or parents, you ask for engagement, commitment. Forget the a little bit, it depends, maybe. No, that's not an answer. It's a way of avoiding, you know. It's not only the kids who has to grow up, it's as well the adults, you know. And it's difficult. But maybe we're going to stop now because I promised to give some minutes to my colleague here. So thank you, and of course I will be here all day, so don't hesitate to come to me and discuss. I will be happy to do it. So thank you, and I give you a few minutes for my colleagues.
Hello, can everyone hear me? I'm Lara Kurigina. I have worked with Isabel and Oscar Brinifier as part of the team of practical philosophy. And we are teaching people to do dialogue, adult-to-child dialogue and adult-to-adult dialogue. There are 3 points I would like to just put on the table. The first book written by Oscar Brenifier and Isabelle Millon is the philosophical analysis of Russian fairy tales. Isabelle read all 3 volumes of the Afanasyev collection, and in her book she explains 12 most popular fairy tales and the analysis. For example, the Johnny Cake, the Kolobok. So, for example, should Kolobok run away from home? Is this a necessity? And if you think about the fox, which archetype is the fox? And Baba Yaga, is she a mythical subject or is she part of everyone? Right? And after each fairy tale, they put a question which can be used in the family. Why do you think this and this and this and so on? The second book may be of more of interest to nursery school teachers and primary school teachers, but it is also of possible interest to parents as well. Philosophical practice in the kindergarten and in primary school. How to teach thinking? Should thinking be taught to children from a very small age? Isabelle has quoted Montaigne, who really said that children learn to reason much faster than they learn to read and write. So it describes several techniques that you can use with children in order to develop their thinking. I will just read out something to you. One example is how to object to child spontaneity, to having no time. The child is too small. This is the trap of knowledge. It's too hard for them, and so on. So here, the book dispels the myth that philosophizing is necessarily theorizing. So this book is about this, that philosophy has a practical application. There will be a booth where you can buy those books if you want to. The second point, we run philosophical consultations with children and adults, like Pavel's situation. Our philosopher, or Isabelle, either Isabelle or Oscar or any philosopher from our team, act as a mediator between all the people who have a problem. For example, what is the problem from the child's point of view? Mommy does not love me. Okay, mommy, which problem do you have? The child does not want to do what I want them to do. Aggression is always the indicator of a gap between my strong desire to get something and the delivery, right? And we are helping people to find that gap, to locate that gap, and to find ways to change the child's attitude or the parent's attitude. Of course, we don't live in an ideal world, and problems will appear anyway, but we want you to recognize problems as they appear, and we want you to be rational about those problems. We also run consultations with not just with families, but with professional teachers. And the third point, we run an intensive course for professional teachers and for professionals in child rearing. Of course, parents can enroll too, but this is more for professionals. The idea is to develop in children autonomous, independent thinking. We teach you to run courses and exercises for children so that children can have their own informed idea about what is happening around them in the world and what is good and what is bad and why. We teach teachers to work with emotional intelligence. We teach decentralization. So the position is, I need to do this in 45 minutes, and the child doesn't want to, because the child has their own agenda. We teach teachers to see sense behind words, to frame problems, because, for example, the child may think, why should I do as you say? And the sense may be different. The first thing we think is that the child rebels because the child doesn't like me. This is the natural first reaction, but if we dig deeper, we will see that the child has several attitudes to this problem at several levels, and these must be recognized. There are 10 1.5 courses, one-on-one or sessions over Skype once per week. So 10 weeks, it can be done individually or in small groups. We have several programs for baby clubs with a list of exercises and workshops for parents and teachers. If you are interested in any of these, please contact me or approach me. I will be here until 4 o'clock. We work in Moscow and Europe and across Russia. Another option is courses for children studying the fairy tales and legends of a specific people. We don't just read them. We compare, we conceptualize and contextualize. And that is a very good way to develop flexibility of attitude in a child. That's all from my side. If you're interested, please turn to me after the workshop.
I guess it's finished now. Thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.